Pygmalion and Galatea, Scene 2. An opaque aura of pulsating purple light differentiated from the clay statue and sat up, turning its head to face a startled Pygmalion. The living space in here is horrid, almost as uncomfortable as being trapped in a magic lamp. Pygmalion gulped. Galatea? At your service. It worked! Yeah, it did, she said. Would you mind not spitting on me next time? That was most unbecoming of you. Sorry. Galatea swiveled and stared down the naked wax statue lying on the bed beside Pygmalion. She screamed. What's wrong? Is that me? She asked. It's your image, yeah. Could you have made me any uglier? You've got to be kidding me, Pygmalion said, throwing the doona off and hopping out of bed. Either that or you're blind. It took me many years of hard work to get you to look like that. I look awful. What are you talking about? He fumed. I collected pictures of the best-looking models from Dolly, Cosmopolitan, Women's Weekly and Playboy. I chose the most flawless of their features and moulded them into you. There's no woman on this planet that's as gorgeous as you, Galatea. Don't be so sure. I went out and brought you the most expensive designer clothes, underwear, shoes, hats, handbags, purses, makeup, perfume, deodorant, bags, gloves, sunglasses, jewels, and everything else a beautiful woman like you might want. There's nothing that I've denied you. Don't always assume that's what a girl wants. That's what all women want, Pygmalion cried. Maybe in your experience of the world they do, she said, but that doesn't automatically make it a fact. You've obviously forgotten what you wished for. You're a funny man. Why? You must sculpt and paint full time, yeah? Only an artist of the sort would have such confidence in, and take such impudent pride in both their judgment and lofty powers. I'm good at what I do, said Pygmalion, pointing at a vast collection of lifelike statues in the adjoining room. Everyone who comes to my workshop tells me so. I perfect the art of nature. You perfect the art of mimicry, Pygmalion. I select the most aesthetically pleasing features and motifs from the natural world and sculpt them into the simulacra of human beings, he said, ignoring her comment. I perfect nature, Galatea. You perfect the skin deep. Meaning? Well, what is art? Galatea asked. An artificial representation of the natural world, said Pygmalion. There, she said. You said it with your own tongue. What are you talking about? You said the artificial representation of the natural world, said Galatea. By artificial you mean a copy, right? What's your point? Art copies nature, she said. It's Mother Nature's artificial mirror. Imitation belongs to art and originality to nature. The first is inferior to the second. Some imitations happen to be better than their originals, said Pygmalion. In cases where it concerns only the artificial, perhaps, said Galatea, but not when you stack it up against a natural product. Why not? Pygmalion questioned. Has an artificial intelligence been shown to be superior to human intelligence? Another illusion. Meaning? The two are spawned from dissimilar properties, said Galatea. They are fundamentally different, the same only in outward appearance. An illusion is as good as its model, said Pygmalion. Come on, don't be unreasonable, said Galatea. Look at all your statues, Pygmalion. They might resemble Sophia, Athena, or Aris to the extent that glancing at them might incite a case of mistaken identity, but in the end the copy is counterfeit, and the original or model genuine. Okay, I get it, Pygmalion sighed. You're so opinionated. Like you, said Galatea. They say likeness causes friction. It's true, said Pygmalion. In any case, you're here to love me. You're not supposed to challenge me like that, so openly and boldly. A created entity should never challenge its creator. So now we're a creator, are we? I created you, didn't I? Pygmalion asked. Are you sure about that? Asked Galatea. I think I've existed for time immemorial. Now we're playing mind games, said Pygmalion. Typical woman. That wouldn't fit into the scheme of what you wished for, said Galatea. I'm simply challenging your own beliefs about yourself. I think you're overconfident. Creating is a big part of being human. But is it? For sure, said Pygmalion. We've reached an exciting and pivotal stage in our evolution, Galatea. We can breed, genetically modify living organisms or their essential parts, clone almost anything, and cure ailments. Recently, geneticists discovered that DNA survived intact and unaltered for very lengthy periods in eggshells. Soon it will be possible to bring back animals like the elephant bird and the dodo from extinction. But none of that involves creating an original article, said Galatea. The endeavours you describe all act upon a pre-existing natural model. You multiply and divide, modify and alter, subtract and add, mimic and mend, but never create. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but poking and prodding about a DNA double helix is not creating. You're simply working with what's already there. So what you're essentially telling me is that humans and their mimetic arts are completely inferior to the forces of nature which create these models and articles, said Pygmalion, right? That's exactly what I'm saying. But what is nature exactly? That's for me to know and for you to find out. What do you think it is? What do you think the purpose of all this is? Asked Galatea, gesturing towards the moon and the grove of giant cypress trees outside. How am I supposed to know? Said Pygmalion sarcastically. I'm not a god. I'm just a lonely sculptor who tries to make a living by ripping off copyrighted material from Mother Nature and selling it to the bourgeoisie for a modest price. You're not wrong there, said Galatea. It's all a matter of faith in the end, isn't it? You mean with respect to the nature of being? Yeah. I sometimes resign myself to the idea that it was a chance accident, said Pygmalion, folding his hands into his lap. There was no plan, just spontaneous generation. Things just happened. The universe happened. Life happened. Evolution happened. People happened. Darwinism? Yeah, survival of the fittest, you know. Favourable mutations are selected for survival and so forth. That's the aim. Galatea laughed. What's so funny? Nothing, she said. I'm a little surprised is all. There's an obvious incongruity between your semi-established beliefs and your actions. You don't honestly believe that bedtime story, do you? Pygmalion shrugged his shoulders. Let me tell you that chance played no role in anything, Galatea said. What do you mean? There is a grand purpose, she said. Everything was planned out. Everything was meticulously planned out. If I'm to believe anything, I have to see proof, evidence, he said. And you will, she said. If you're nice to me, I'll tell you things that will make your hair stand straight. Riveting, said Pygmalion. Not only is my newfound lover agonizingly beautiful, she's a pathological creationist.